Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
First, a word from this month's sponsor, Ethico.
If you're a compliance officer, middle managers are crucial in getting your programs from you to your frontline employees. But how do we activate those managers and get them on our side? Ethico's new Middle Manager Toolkit equips you with the skills needed to empower your managers, to promote a culture where ethical behavior thrives and employees feel empowered to speak up. Learn how to turn frontline managers into ethical leaders with our new white paper, Empowering Middle Managers as Ethics Champions. And did I mention you can get the whole toolkit for free? Head to ethico.com to download the full toolkit today.
Also, if you are looking for something new and different for the upcoming Compliance Week celebration in November, check out The Compliance Kids. It's my 3-book children's series on compliance and compliance professionals for children. But they make great gifts and great training tools for your employees. You can check it out on Amazon.com. We've linked to it in the show notes. The Daily Compliance News for November 6, 2024, the post-election edition. And our first story comes to us from the National Review, which takes a look at cybersecurity compliance in the context of False Claims Act investigations at universities. The Department of Defense has recently announced an award of $43 million of up to 112 researchers at academic institutions to fund equipment, instruments, and basic research around quantum computing and other similar topics. 2 prominent cases have arisen under the FCA. So, what's the role of FCA in universities? Lots of government money going there. Next up from Bloomberg, the French soccer, or as they would say, football corruption scandal is broadening as CVC Partners, private equity firm, and the France's football governing body had their offices searched by prosecutors. The probe follows a complaint filed almost a year ago by an anti-corruption association. The CVC has a 13% stake in the commercial subsidiary of the league in return for a multi-billion-dollar investment. Next up from the New York Times, it reports how FTC chairperson Lina Khan has become a topic, or was rather a topic in this year's election. She's called a dope, partisan, and unhelpful by both Democrats and Republicans. Many have called for her to be fired, Elon Musk being one of them, and few federal officials have elicited such an intense bipartisan attention because of her aggressiveness in enforcing antitrust laws by the FTC. So what will happen to Lina Khan? We will have to wait and find out. And finally, from the BBC, a Russian court has fined Google 2 unidecillion rubles. That's a number 2 followed by 36 zeros. That's not only more than Google's worth, it's more than the Earth's total GDP, and I would even posit more than the entire universe. So the Russians are going to try to get the value of the solar system out of Google. Well, good luck with that. The fine, of course, continues Russia's trend of being a nation completely outside the law after their invasion of Ukraine. As I mentioned at the start of this podcast, the sponsor for the entire Compliance Podcast Network is Ethico. Well, Ethico has a great new offering this month for you, a toolkit for middle managers. This is something that you, as the compliance professional, can use to move your compliance program forward by giving middle managers the skills necessary to answer a call for speak up or when someone comes in their office and raises a concern. I can't think of a tool that will be more valuable for you in the current era of enforcement. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.